There's an interview that Matt Painter gave to Big Ten Network. You can find this on Big Ten Network's YouTube channel, and I think they've been airing it a little bit on the actual television channel as well, Big Ten Net. Shout out to BTN. But Painter talked a ton of things this offseason. We did one video earlier this week where he mentioned some of his players have been tampered with and his thoughts on that. He's talked about Trey Kaufman-Renn and how he went under the radar for a couple years while playing with Zach Edey and Zach Edey's shadow. But I found this really interesting. Painter was discussing Braden Smith and was basically asked, hey, Braden Smith's the best point guard in the country. What strides has he made this offseason? What is there still left for him as far as getting to another level as he enters his final year in college? This is what Matt Painter said. He said, quote, it's tuning into what's best for us, but also for Braden, it's looking to score. I think that's something he can still improve and be more consistent. Just keep being on the hunt, keep looking to score because he's naturally such a great passer. That was Payne's full comments on it. For what it's worth, Braden gave a quote all the way back in March. And shout out to Dustin Shute, by the way, from SI, who kind of consolidated these quotes and put them together in article form. That's what I'm looking at right now. But Braden back in March said, quote, I get yelled at all the time by Paint for not shooting. I always want to include everybody and get them the ball, put them in spots to be successful. I believe that's my job. As a point guard, that's what we're supposed to do. But now here we are a few months later in the summer, going into Braden's senior year, best point guard in the country, best team in the country. And Matt Painter's saying, hey, we need him to score more this season. Your thoughts on the idea that Braden needs to look to score more in his final year in college?
Yeah, honestly, I've been saying it the whole offseason. I think that's why Amir's there too, right? It's to take the ball out of Braden's hands from a passing perspective and put the ball in his hands from a scoring perspective because he scores so easily in one-on-one situations. And I think that's the element of his game when the previous year when they would run the pick and roll with him and Trey Kaufman-Renn or whoever, and he would get trapped. I felt like he looked to pass out of the traps. You need to attack it though. And I think that's what Matt Painter's saying is like, no one's telling you not to be a point guard, Braden, but like you don't need to be robotic. His game became a little predictable at times, and he's way too talented to be predictable. If you add that scoring element, you don't know necessarily what he's going to do when you trap him, when you blitz him, when you do all these different things. At the moment when you do that, and he's very young, so this is how it's more so mental in my opinion than anything he needs to develop. It's already there. But you can't let the defense know what you're going to do in every situation. Once you do, it's like, here's what we do, here's how we can get to them. He's so talented that a lot of the times it doesn't matter. TKR, Fletch, so talented a lot of times it doesn't matter. But the blueprint on how to get to Braden was there for every single team. Not every team can accomplish it, though. There is no blueprint if he starts attacking to score, if he's coming off of screens without the ball, if he's catching and shooting a lot more, one move dribble drives, getting everybody else involved off of his own scoring. How then do you stop Braden Smith? You just hope that you're taller than him at that point.
Yeah, I think it must be so fun to be Braden when I hear this quote. That's my initial reaction because, like, you are the best point guard in the country, the best passer in the country. You might set the NCAA's all-time assist record this year. You just stay healthy and make a little run in March at the same rate you passed last year. You're going to set the NCAA. You're going to be the best passer in college basketball history. How many other guys, like, if we went through the list of the top 50 assist guys ever, how many of those guys' coaches going into their final year would be like, yeah, I actually want him shooting more? Like, you're that special at one skill, and your coach is like, no, green light, we need more scoring. It must be so fun to be that guy. You're the best passer in NCAA history, and your coach is like, no, go score. Like, that's impossible for me to even comprehend. But I get where Painter's coming from because I do think there is, I wouldn't say robotic. I think that was the word you used. I see where you're going for with that. But I think, like, for me, it felt like there were times last year where Braden's scoring felt more, okay, I need to do this now, rather than just reading the play and playing naturally. I think he doesn't give himself enough of I don't know, an attack mentality sometimes offensively where like just off reading the defense, oh, I should shoot here. Instead, it's like, oh, I can get TKR an easy layup. Oh, I can get this to Fletch in the corner because they have an embarrassment of riches and he's just so damn good at that. Oftentimes last year, it felt like, okay, 2 minutes left. That's when Braden would be like, I need to score now. And sometimes that's where that would lead to the more difficult attempts. Like he can score off of easy attempts, easy reads, if he just looks to do it a little more than he could at the end of games when he's like, it's my time. Let me take that step back or not the step back, the fade away on the baseline that he loves to go to in crunch time. Now, he's still going to take those shots. And in crunch time, he's still going to need to take those shots. No one's denying that element of this. But I found it interesting. Like, it just is fascinating to me. A kid that good at passing, like a coach wanting him to almost change his game a little bit is interesting. But like you said, you pair it with the addition of Omer Mayer, I guess it makes sense. Do you think that that's what Paint envisions? Like, is part of why they brought Omer here so that Braden is focused solely on scoring more times this year? Today's video is sponsored by Lab Corp On Demand. Card, do you take care of yourself?
I try my best to, yeah.
Like, not just treat yourself to expensive meals, but like you go to the doctor and things like that?
No, I just take care of myself. There's no need to go to the doctor unless I'm not taking care of myself, right?
Are you afraid of the doctor, Cart?
Just a little bit. I mean, if nothing's wrong, why would I go there?
Listen, I'm the same way, and so are millions of men across America. But that's why LabCorp On Demand is helping millions of people like us. With their men's health test, you can get a comprehensive look at your hormone levels, your total testosterone, and you don't even have to go to the doctor. It's easy, and you get the results the next day.
Testosterone, is that like is that a big thing?
It's a really important thing, Cart. Sometimes you can feel off without even knowing something's wrong. But LabCorp On Demand wants to keep you healthy and wants to make it as easy as possible. Right now, you can get 20% off your men's health test by visiting our sponsor at tryelco.com/sleepersmedia. It's simple, affordable, and honestly, it's empowering to know that you're healthy and have this info about your body.
Didn't know that testosterone did all those things. I'm gonna have to take the guesswork out of this and go get my health checked out today using LabCorp On Demand.
Yeah, I think in order, you're not trying to develop Braden. You know he can do it already. Like I said, there's no development that needs to happen there. It's putting the pieces around him to where he has the ability to do it more. And Omir Meyer does that for him. It allows him to play off ball. I think that's the next step in Braden's game that takes him to a completely different level, right? Like if you look at NBA point guards, I mean, Steph Curry can play point guard. He can have the ball in his hands. He can run pick and roll. He can get easy layups for his big man. He can throw lobs. He can do all that. The element of him playing off ball, setting screens, coming off them, being able to attack off the dribble, like those are elements that opens up the game for everybody else too. And I think it's a different way of Braden being able to open up the game for everybody else. And that's the learning curve, I guess you could say. But he's going to be able to do exactly what he wants to do, but on a completely different level that's going to make them nearly impossible to stop. I don't know how you beat this team at the moment.
How much do you think that when Omer and Braden play together, how much do you think that Omer is going to be used as the quote unquote point guard on ball with Braden off it?
I think more than Braden, I think Omir will have the ball in his hands more than Braden will when they're on the court together initially. Right.
Really?
Initially, I think who brings the ball up the court to me doesn't matter. I think the initial action will be Omir bringing the ball up the court, but the action will be for Braden to get the ball in his hands almost every single time.
Okay. So I guess that's fair. I could see it like Omer is the walk it up court guy, and then it's a dribble handoff to Braden, and he's
Yeah,
going to initiate from there.
yeah,
Um, Look, it's a luxury, and I do think tactically that's why you wanted to go and get a combo guard. You wanted to get a guy who really long term will be a point guard. This is a guy that your assistant coaching staff right now, PJ Thompson, is telling Purdue players he's like a Braden Smith. That's the vision for Omer. They're clearly, as a coaching staff, envisioning that long term Omer Meyer will be Braden Smith 2.0. And that's exciting for Purdue fans. For this year's team, I just want to make my stance on this really, really clear before the season goes there. They better not take the ball out of Braden's hands much. Like, I get why you want a second guy there. I get that we want to protect him. I get that we don't want him to wear down. And all of that's true. I think he seemed fatigued at the end of the season a little bit. And when you played 40 minutes a night, that's going to happen some nights. But also, reminder, this is the seventh time I'm saying this in a 10-minute video. He's going to set the NCAA's all-time assist record. He's the most durable player in the country. He can play 40 minutes a game. If we really spend the final year of him in a Purdue uniform being like, oh, we've got to take the ball out of that guy's hands, that's an all-time mistake. And Painter's too smart to do that. Some of this is just some off-season speak, right? It's him gassing his guy up. Yeah, you're a great scorer too. Don't sell yourself short. We need you to get buckets. But the reality is this: they need Braden to be exactly what he was last year again. That's the starting point. And if you are exactly what you were last year, but maybe we can optimize it just a tiny little bit. Maybe you take 2 more shots a game in 3 less minutes a game so that you're fresh in the final 2 minutes. That's what I'm after. I don't want to drastically change the best point guard in the country for some theorized idea that there's something better than the best passer in NCAA history, you know?
No, I completely agree with that. I think it's more so like I don't want to say winning brand of basketball because all Paint and Purdue do is win right now. But I think there's an
Oh,
element. Well, they don't have the banner you have behind you.
besides last year, right? I mean, last year there was some winning.
So, but I think it's an acknowledgement of a play style thing that could get them farther, more so than a Braden thing. I think it's just how can we go win a national championship? And I think that element of surprise or like you don't know what's going to happen next if Braden doesn't have the ball in his hands. And it allows Payne to be way more creative with actions. It allows Omier to have the ball in his hands and be a little flashy. I also think this too. I think maybe 2, 3 months ago, whenever Omier committed, actually, I don't remember when that was. I think they were looking at it as a long-term guy that's going to be here. If he's everything that I think he is, and I think you think he is, and the Purdue coaching staff is saying he is, that dude ain't going to be there for that long. And so
Yep.
I think the outlook now is like, how do we maximize this year with this group? Because obviously we're losing the big three. We're probably losing the fourth person too, though.
Yeah, I hear you on that. There's definitely a world where he's good enough for that to come to fruition. So I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting. But again, it must be fun to be Braden Smith, right? You're literally setting assist records, and your coach is like, "Well, we want him to score more too. Like, we want him to be the best player in the country because he is the best player in the country, in my opinion." This video is brought to you by NBA2K Lab.com. 2K Lab worked with us last summer as well. They're one of our favorite entities in all of sports gaming. We want to show you their college basketball stadium locator challenge game. And I'm going to share a screen right now as we do this. South Carolina, bang. Oh,
Ooh,
okay, that's pretty good. Next, North Carolina. Why are we only getting the Carolinas?
please
Bang.
lock in.
St. John's, that's New
New
York.
York.
Bang.
Where's New Jersey?
We're on fire. Colorado. I actually don't know what state Colorado is.
It's in Colorado. There's a state of
Is that
Colorado.
this one?
It's to the right of Phoenix.
Anyway, you get the picture. This game's really fun. They've got more games as well, like Guess the NBA Player, Mystery Fantasy Draft, and more. Stay tuned for all of the college football content and games that they'll be putting together to help you get the best experience out of college football 26. Back to the video.